Will you survive?
Face me!
As you just saw, Legendary Erica can do a lot of damage, and I want to make a video talking about my thoughts on this new Erica, as well as discuss her unique B skill, Lunar Brace, in more detail. The first part of this video will be sort of a review on Erica as a unit, and then I want to talk a lot about a ton of different ways you can use Lunar Brace. Legendary Erica is a sword cavalry unit and represents her Great Lord promotion from the Sacred Stones. She is a very offensive oriented unit. Her 30 HP, 27 defense, and 21 resistance are all pretty average, not amazing, but Erica can definitely take a hit here and there. Her 31 attack is actually tied for lowest in the sword cavalry group, but all things considered, that is definitely not awful by any means. Her 39 speed makes her the fastest in the group, with the next closest unit being Sigbert at 35 speed. Erica is very fast. Legendary Erica's base kit consists of two unique skills, her weapon Storm Sigilund and her B skill Lunar Brace. We will discuss both in more detail later on. Her special is Moonbow, which is a 2-turn cooldown special and is great on pretty much any unit. Her A skill is Attack and Speed Solo, which is brand new. The solo type skills grant a stat boost during combat just as long as the unit isn't adjacent to any allies. Attack and Speed Solo grants +6 attack and speed during combat, and that puts Erica up to 37 attack and 45 speed. My goodness. This skill is great on cavalry units who can move far away from their allies thanks to the 3 movement. As for Erica's C skill, she comes with Odd Defense Wave, which grants +6 defense to Erica and any adjacent allies at the start of odd numbered turns. Not the most consistent type of skills, but it is a self-buffing C skill, and this can put Erica at 33 defense, which ain't half bad. For the most part, Legendary Erica's base kit works very well for her. As we will discuss, they also synergize with her unique weapon and her B skill. Now let's talk about Storm Sigilund. It's a 16 might legendary weapon that also grants a flat +3 attack. Legendary Erica with Storm Sigilund equipped will end up with 50 total attack. The second part of Storm Sigilund states, if the number of foes within 2 spaces, excluding the target, is greater than or equal to the number of allies within 2 spaces, excluding Erica, then Erica will get +3 defense and resistance, as well as special cooldown charge +1 per her own attacks during combat. As always, the special cooldown reduction effect does not stack with similar effects. Alright, so to the right, this showcases the range of Storm Sigilund. Basically, when Erica fights someone, it checks to see if there are more enemies than allies in that 2-space area. It's the exact same condition as Legendary Ephraim's Flame Sigmund. Important to note that you can have the same number of enemies as allies, so if there are 0 enemies and 0 allies, then Storm Sigilund will still activate. A reminder that you do not count Erica herself or the enemy she is fighting when checking to see if Storm Sigilund activates. If this condition is met, then Erica just gets a flat boost of +3 defense and res. A little odd, but really not going to complain about some extra free stats. If Storm Sigilund and Odd Defense Wave are both active, then that would put Erica at 36 defense, and she'll definitely appreciate that because Erica is going to be on the front lines a lot. Now the second effect is that Erica gets +1 special cooldown charge for each attack she makes. This works just like Heavy Blade or Flashing Blade, except there is no stat comparisons, you just have to check unit position. This is really solid for Erica because Lunar Brace is very reliant on special activations. If Erica can score some cooldown reduction, it really helps improve her overall effectiveness. For the most part, I think Storm Sigilund is a great weapon. The extra attack is good, and cooldown reduction is a bit hard to get for cavalry units. There isn't much need to swap out Storm Sigilund, and Erica can be quite deadly if she can activate all of its effects. Now let's talk about Lunar Brace, which is Legendary Erica's unique B skill, and it's arguably what makes her stand out. Its effect is so good that it has to be balanced out with a +1 to all special triggers. So while an obvious downside, it's good to see that someone on the dev team is still taking balancing into consideration. Lunar Brace deals damage equal to 50% of the foe's defense stat when Erica activates her own special. Technically, this is a new description for an ability. 50% of the enemy's defense stat is sort of like a reverse type of bonfire, but it's actually more similar to the Luna special. Luna and Moonbow treat the enemy's defense stat as either 50% or 30% lower than what it actually is for the unit's attack in that instance. The easier way to think about it is that these skills boost your damage by 50% or 30% of the enemy's defense or res stats. Basically, the damage will be the same for Luna as it will be for Lunar Brace, and that's pretty easy to remember because of the name. This is crazy and can lead to some insane special procs for Legendary Erica. She is adding a whole Luna special worth of damage on top of whatever actual special she is already using. If this skill didn't come with the increased special cooldown, then I would say it would be too strong. However, from my experience, that +1 to all special triggers does keep it in line from being too crazy. Now by default, Legendary Erica comes with Moonbow. It gets turned into a 3 cooldown, but when activated, Erica gets boosted damage equal to 30% of the foe's defense from Moonbow, in addition to the 50% of the foe's defense stat from Lunar Brace. You can think of that as 80% total, and yes, it's basically like she has Black Knight's Black Luna special. The ideal situation for Erika with Moonbow is to engage a fight and double the enemy. Storm Signaling drops Moonbow's cooldown to 1 if activated, and then the enemy's attack will charge Moonbow. Erika can then unleash Moonbow and Lunar Brace on her second attack. In this scenario, Erika is getting 2 basic attacks, plus a Moonbow proc, plus Lunar Brace. It's a ton of damage, and she would absolutely destroy any green units out there. I do want to mention that Lunar Brace deals true damage just like Wrath. If you don't know what true damage is or how it's important, then you can watch a video I recently did about the topic. I'll leave a link in the description, or you can click the card that I will leave right here. At the end of that video, I also show an example that proves Lunar Brace deals true damage, just in case you aren't convinced. Later on, in the second half of this video, we'll take a look at all the various special combos you can pair with Lunar Brace, and my thoughts on each of them. We will also discuss using Lunar Brace with weapons other than Storm Signaling. In terms of playstyle and her role on a team, Legendary Erika is pretty straightforward. She is a very offensive player phase unit. 31 attack is great considering she has a 19 might weapon, and 39 at speed is blazing fast. Both her attack and speed get even crazier since she comes with attack and speed solo, and it also synergizes with Storm Signaling's activation condition. If you can get Erika a Hone Cavalry buff, she will absolutely destroy anything that is not a blue unit. I wouldn't say she is the best offensive Sword Cavalry just yet, considering we have Sigbert and Sword Reinhardt, but she definitely can compete. In terms of playstyle, Erika will want to play the same way as her brother. She wants to either lead the charge into battle first, or she wants to flank from the side by herself. Getting Storm Signaling to activate is very important since it grants that extra special cooldown reduction. From personal experience, I would say Erika is not as bulky as her brother or even someone like Walhart when on the front lines alone. She can definitely take a hit, but unless you run a healing special, she is going to be whittled down by enemy attacks. She is probably better for shorter battles. The reason I say this is that Legendary Erika is stupid powerful when her special is ready. Lunar Brace adds so much extra damage, and Erika really wants to charge her special as fast as possible. I think the permanent cooldown increase does tone down Erika's moments of power. If she could run things like Steady Breath, then I would seriously say she would be one of the scariest units. Since Cavalry are limited in getting cooldown reduction and Lunar Brace knocks all specials back by 1 cooldown, Erika won't be as insane. To counter her, it's best to stop her follow attacks from happening with skills like Wary Fighter, or even just competing with her high speed. Guard will also be very good at stopping Erika from reaching her breaking points, and if you have to face Legendary Erika, you absolutely do not want to get hit by any of her special procs. She will still hurt a lot with just basic attacks, but she is downright disgusting when she has a Lunar Brace special ready. Now let's talk about some ways to utilize Lunar Brace and what kind of specials you should think about using with it. First up, I do want to mention the Area of Effect specials. With these, before combat starts, enemies take damage equal to Erika's attack minus the foe's defense stat. If you choose the Blazing line, this damage is multiplied by 1.5 times. It's important to remember that with Lunar Brace, all specials get a permanent +1 cooldown increase, so the AoE specials will all become 5-turn cooldown specials. If you are familiar with AoE specials and the Wrath or Wo Dao interaction, then you know that the +10 damage from those skills will apply to each individual enemy hit by the AoE of the special. Lunar Brace works the same way, but instead of a flat damage, it calculates 50% of each individual foe's defense stat to add on top of the damage from the actual special. This means Erika is basically hitting every foe with the extra damage from an entire Luna special, not to mention that she then gets to use a basic attack afterwards. That is a lot of damage, but are these worth using? Well, as 5-turn specials, Erika can charge them in 1 round of combat if she attacks twice with Storm Signaling active, plus she needs to get hit once by the enemy. With a ton of potential damage coming from Lunar Brace, Erika can try to use the Growing variants, which have a bigger area effect. If she were to use the Blazing variants, then the damage output is pretty crazy. While Erika can hit multiple targets with an AoE special and by extension Lunar Brace, this does require a lot of setup. A 5-turn cooldown means Erika may not even get to fully charge it after 1 round of combat, and unless this is a fight with a lot of reinforcements, there is almost no way you're getting off more than 1 proc. Cavalry can't use Special Spiral either, so you can't have 100% uptime anyway. While it's a fun scenario, I would probably just suggest using Ares or Eldigan with their Dark Mistletoe if you want an AoE special spamming Cavalry unit. Next, you can try out the healing specials, Noontime, Soul, and Aether. Noontime becomes a 3-turn cooldown, Soul becomes a 4-turn cooldown, and Aether becomes a massive 6-turn cooldown, and we'll skip talking about it right now. So in a similar fashion to Legendary Ephraim, Legendary Erika can get both a healing effect and a damage effect without having to resort to Aether. Noontime would be like a mini Aether by dealing 50% of the foe's defense and then healing 30% of the damage done, all on a 3-turn cooldown. Soul is a bit more interesting, dealing 50% of the foe's defense and then healing 50% of that damage back. Maybe you've already picked up on it, but using Soul with Lunar Brace basically means you have a 4-turn cooldown Aether at the cost of a B skill. I actually am quite impressed with Soul and it feels very viable. Soul on a 4-turn cooldown won't be activated in one round of combat, but it does mean you can have it charged to unleash on a full health target. Noontime can be activated in one round assuming Storm Siglin is active, and its effectiveness will vary. To be honest, 30% healing doesn't feel that great to me at least, and if you are activating it in one round, it means you are hitting the enemy when you have already wounded them. For squishy units, Erika's first attack will probably chunk them out, and then you are left with very little HP to heal back off of. However, tankier targets may be left with more HP, and then that means more healing for Erika. We'll come back to these specials later, but I would say that they aren't bad options since Erika would love some healing while on the front lines. The last group of specials I want to talk about are indeed the defense reducing specials. So Moonbow will be on a 3-turn cooldown, Luna will be on a 4-turn cooldown, and of course Aether is a 6-turn cooldown. Moonbow plus Lunar Brace literally becomes Black Luna, which is the Black Knight's unique version of Luna. It's similar to Black Luna in that the damage gained should be equal to 80% of the foe's defense stat. If you face the Black Knight or Zelgius, then you already know just how disgusting this type of special can be. Even against blue units, you can absolutely chunk them, and maybe even kill them if their HP isn't that high. Sacrificing a B skill to get Black Luna and being able to proc it every fight is honestly quite good. This is in Legendary Erika's base kit, so you definitely have to watch out for her. As for Luna, I think it's absolutely disgusting combined with Lunar Brace. To make things simple, you can think of Luna plus Lunar Brace as being equal to reducing the foe's defense by 100%. Erika can surpass Black Luna, and it basically means she deals her full attack stat and damage since the enemy's defense stat gets entirely nullified by the damage from Luna and Lunar Brace. Now it's not exactly 100% reduced defense because I found some weird results when testing. So I have an Erika that is getting 60 attack total after buffs and attack and speed solo is active. When she has Luna charged and is ready to attack an Arden with 60 HP and 41 defense, you will see that Erika actually deals 59 damage when if she were to be getting 100% reduced defense on Arden, then she should deal the full 60 HP. Now let's reset this example, and now Arden has 42 defense, so it would seem like he shouldn't die to Erika considering he has more defense than before. Well, as you'll see, Erika actually one-shots him this time, despite Arden having more defense. The reason for this is because of rounding when calculating damage. Since 41 defense is an odd number, half of that is 20.5. The game rounds this down to 20, and Lunar Brace technically loses damage. When Arden's defense is a nice and even 42, that turns into 21 damage for Luna and Lunar Brace, which then becomes 42 damage total. Just wanted to showcase this funky interaction, and technically having an odd defense stat value is an advantage if you need to get hit by a double Luna Erika. Last, let's discuss Aether real quick. As a 6-turn cooldown, there is almost no way Erika charges it in one round. She would have to double with Siglin active, and then the enemy would also have to double her. With such a high cooldown, it's extremely bad if Aether gets wasted on a low HP target. Mistiming its activation loses a lot of value, and honestly, you might just be better off with Soul on a shorter cooldown. I know this is a long video already, but to finish it off, let's talk about Lunar Brace with different types of weapons. The Fire Sweep Sword isn't a bad option, but unfortunately, due to Lunar Brace's cooldown penalty, you won't be able to charge and use any special in one round of combat. Legendary Erika cannot follow in Legendary Ryuma's footsteps, where he can use a Fire Sweep Sword plus his Bushido B skill and a 2-turn special. Ryoma can charge Moonbow or Glimmer on the first hit using Heavy Blade, and then his second attack unleashes his special. For Erika, I think her best option is to just use Heavy Blade with a 3-turn special like Soul or Luna. That way she can get 4 cooldown charges with her 2 attacks and she takes no damage. Now, unless you have a plus attack Erika, I do think you will need an attack buff on her and have attack and speed solo active. If you can pull it off, then a Fire Sweep Sword isn't a bad option. For a Brave Sword, it would have been interesting if you could use it with Heavy Blade, but the low might of the weapon doesn't really mesh well with Erika's average attack stat. You would need a lot of attack buffs and also sort of depend on the enemy to not have a high attack stat either. If you don't want to go down that route, then you could just look to quad enemies since Erika's base speed is very high. If she quads, Erika can fully charge and unleash a 2-turn special, which becomes a 3-turn special with the penalty. If you use a 3-turn special, then those can be charged and used if Erika were to get hit in between her attacks. Honestly, there is some merit to using a Brave Sword, but I don't really think it's worth trying to make work. It lowers her enemy phase effectiveness as well, and Erika loses a ton of single hit damage compared to her Storm Siglin. Next, we have the Wo Dao. Now, the Wo Dao can be a lot of fun with Lunar Brace, and I'm pretty sure it generates the most amount of true damage possible, assuming Lunar Brace is adding more than 10 damage. I'm not sure if it categorizes as niche, but let's say Erika is facing a hurt blue unit with only 30 HP, but still has 40 defense. If she can get a special to activate, then Lunar Brace deals 20 true damage, and Wo Dao adds another 10 true damage. Not even considering if Erika is dealing 0 base damage herself, or if her special doesn't bring her out of negative damage, she would still KO that blue unit just because of the true damage alone. It's kind of ridiculous, even though Erika probably shouldn't be in those situations. Definitely a fun weapon to use, but I don't know if it's the only reason you want to use a Wo Dao. Now, if you use a Wo Dao with Heavy Blade, then things get a bit more interesting. Since we can upgrade the Wo Dao, definitely go with the plus attack refined to get a 16 might Wo Dao. The idea is that we are simulating the same pattern as if we were using Storm Siegelind. First attack charges 2 cooldown, get hit by the enemy for 1 charge, and then unleash special on the next hit. Now that only applies to the normal 2-turn specials like Moonbow, Noontime, or Glimmer, but I do think there is some merit to this setup, especially with Noontime since it will be healing off of a Luna proc and an additional plus 10 damage from the Wo Dao. Similar to using Storm Siegelind, Erika won't be able to use 3 or 4 turn specials in one round of combat, but she can at least still charge them for the next fight. Personally, if you want to try this route, I do think using the 2-turn specials for 1-round activations to be the best usage. Last but not least, we have the Slaying Edge. Most important thing to note is that the Slaying Edge's cooldown reduction cancels out Lunar Brace's cooldown penalty, so all specials return to their normal cooldowns. That means with just the Slaying Edge and nothing else, you can activate 2-turn specials like Moonbow or Noontime in 1 round of combat, assuming Erika doubles and gets hit by the enemy counter. One big thing to remember is that Soul now becomes a 3-turn Aether, which is pretty nuts. Erika could run a pretty sweet defensive setup with Soul healing her, and she doesn't need to worry about positioning. I think the Slaying Edge is probably the best weapon if you want to run a defensive setup and have Erika stay with the team. Of course, there is always the Slaying Edge with Heavy Blade. Most important is that you can activate 1 round Soul or Lunas. That means 1 round Aethers or 1 round double Lunas. This is exactly why Lunar Brace comes with that cooldown penalty, because Erika would be insane if she didn't have that restriction. I do also want to mention that the actual Aether special would go back to a 5-turn cooldown and could possibly then be charged in 1 round of combat, so that is something I suppose. Most important takeaway is that the Slaying Edge plus Heavy Blade is a lot of fun to use, and it's just kind of absurd. It's best to give Erika as much attack buffs as you can, but her base attack is good enough for her to pull it off. That wraps up this super long video. Lunar Brace is just insane and definitely deserves that spot in the powerful B slot. It's so good, I would say the cooldown penalty is absolutely justified, and without it, Erika would be way too strong. I feel like she is kept in line by that cooldown penalty and the fact that Cavalry have a hard time getting cooldown reduction. If Cavalry ever get access to a good cooldown reduction skill like Steady Breath, you can expect Legendary Erika to be all over that. She is a very capable sword cav already, but with Lunar Brace, she can pull off some insane takedowns. Do not underestimate her damage output, and if she is running Moonbow or Luna, you have to treat her like dealing with the Black Knight or Zelgius. Preventing her follow-ups or stopping her special activations are the best way to stop her. For the sake of time, I didn't want to fully talk about giving Legendary Erika the Quicken Pulse seal or pairing her up with Legendary Hector and his Osseous Pulse C skill. Both give her ways to get cooldown reduction at the start of the fight, and you can create some super cheesy setups. It may only work for that first fight, but hey, sometimes that's all you need. That's enough rambling for one video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.